today's story we will meet a couple quite different from any other couple you have ever seen, and that in such superficial times of love that ends so quickly, true love can exist. Today's story will prove to you that yes. They were born unlike other people because of their disabilities, but because one is always in search of something or someone to feel affection and compatibility with. This couple met, and their disabilities both ended up together. The couples Jean-Baptiste and Patricia are a very special couple, and the love story of the two is worthy of a movie or Netflix series. Jean-Baptiste was born with a rare condition that deforms his back, but from a young age he always tried to stay positive. His mother played a small role in making this happen. She always told him that he should not let anything or anyone humiliate him. John could control himself as a child. The only problem that still upset him was the look of all people when they saw him in a public place, especially at school. We all know how these mean people react. Some kids can't even be nice. Poor Jean felt it not only by his skin, since all the kids were already black, but because of his disability. He was the object of jokes in class. Besides, he was not very successful among kids. Girls, however, are quite romantic from childhood. He expected to be rejected for a long time. He grew up, but that feeling of loneliness never went away. He felt he was born to be alone forever, and it made him very sad, until fate showed him the good part, that his path crossed with Patricia, the person who brought the storm in his life. There were many good feelings, but there was something special about her, incredible. She had the same disability and he had a childhood similar to his, which brought a sense of deep understanding for both of them. Each of them felt loved and understood at the same time today, even though they face financial difficulties, but they love each other and are very happy together. Their days are filled with enough affection and communication, and not only that, love has grown with time, but also wants to expand family plans for marriage and having children. They are very close. He always talks about it with a smile on his face, that his dream is to have a big family. The universe smiled on these two, and in the end there was a disability between them, and now they live an incredible life as a couple. For those who think they assimilate the age of the two, just the disability they have is completely wrong. Both have suffered injustice from the surface world. Jean was asked how he got to her, and with all the smiles and sparkle in his eyes, he told the story that he saw this girl one beautiful night when he was with friends. When he approached the girl he got nervous, but soon the conversation began, and they both knew that this would be the beginning of a beautiful love story. They were both born with the same congenital spinal condition known as kyphoscoliosis, which is the result of both kyphosis and scoliosis. Jean told the interviewer a little bit about his childhood. I remember once when I was younger, my family took me to the hospital to a famous doctor to check on my condition. When the doctor was about to start seeing me to direct me to the best treatment to relieve my back pain, suddenly there was a natural disaster in the region. There was a very strong earthquake, and out of nowhere there were landslides which affected many people, and some of them were from my family. Even the day I lost my father because of this great loss, Jean's family was completely shaken and even experienced financial difficulties, and this led his mother to use what little money she had just to raise him and his siblings, and unfortunately they could not pay more for his treatment, even for his schooling. They had to definitely stop buying school books, so they could buy tools to harvest their land. He dropped out of school, knowing how to read and write, but eventually grew up and continued to work in the fields. It was a big problem for him to even be seated. Besides the discomfort it caused him, was a big pain for him. It was then that his mother found out about his abnormality, and he grew up an orphan. As for Patricia, she was not as lucky as Jean to have relatives to take care of her. She had to grow up alone, and it was very difficult even when she was a child, when she tried to find work that no one agreed to hire because of her age and disability. At some points she also had financial difficulties, but she made an effort to continue her studies, and she managed to finish school. Becoming an adult, she started getting some work opportunities and over time developed some other skills, such as weaving sweaters, and because she is very hardworking, she even managed to improve her computer skills. They keep hoping that they will have a normal, healthy child, but if that does not happen, they will love the child likewise, giving him what was missing in their lives, and also really love this couple. Not only do they have the same disability, but they share all the household activities. For them, cooking time is always great fun. They even play some games together. Jean said that to make a living, he does some easy jobs, which he started by growing crops, and then watching the harvest. Then he bought a small boat, which he used to catch fish, and he had enough money to buy a cow. And now he has a dream to build a large farm, and a large number of cows and sheep, so he can earn more for his family in the future. He takes raw materials from friends to help his wife make some sweaters to sell. Jean says that sometimes when he sees his wife struggling beside her, he starts to admire her more and more, because he has found her to be an incredible woman, full of courage, incredibly beautiful. He even hopes that one day people will see her as he does. Besides her beauty, Jean was attracted to her golden personality, and that is priceless. He says he just wants a home for his whole family, but he is still working on it because of this ugliness, that they both have certain limitations, and he asks for support, that they at least have the money to invest in a small business that his wife is trying to start. Self-employment seems like the best way to finally finish building our beautiful home story. Jean says these two live happily together and hope that they could bring a very suitable offspring, and if not, they have promised to take care of this child. Despite the condition kyphotic scoliosis, kyphoscoliosis is an abnormal curvature of the spine in two planes, in the coronal planar side to side and in the sagittal planar front to back. It is a combined anomaly of the spine from the other two conditions, kyphosis and scoliosis. Scoliosis causes the spine to curve abnormally in the coronal plane, which means it curves sideways. For curve abnormal in the sagittal plane, which means it curves forward and backward, giving the back a rounded or convex appearance. People with kyphoscoliosis have a spine that curves both sideways and forward or backward simultaneously. This condition can occur at any age, including at birth. According to the condition report, 80% of cases are idiopathic, meaning that there is no known cause of this condition. The symptoms of nodal scoliosis vary. Sometimes people with this condition may only have an abnormal slouch or slouch. In more severe cases, there may be negative effects on the lungs, and heart muscles may not be able to function normally for daily activities. What causes nodal scoliosis? Many cases of this condition are unknown, because in other cases this spinal condition is the result of long-term poor posture. Poor posture over time can result postural scoliosis kiva. It can be treated with extensive physical therapy. Osteochondrosplasia is a type of skeletal dysplasia condition that impairs the growth of spinal bones, cartilage and connective tissue. Degenerative diseases. Examples include osteoporosis and osteoarthritis. Neuromuscular diseases. These may include cerebral palsy or muscular dystrophy. Connective tissue disease. This may include Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and Marfan syndrome. Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis can weaken the spine. Tuberculosis is now a rare condition in people aged 50 and older can develop this spinal abnormality if degenerative diseases such as OA are already present. Other causes can be classified as secondary or congenital. These causes may include degenerative changes, excessive trauma changes, postoperative inflammatory disease, congenital sources such as spinal segmentation malformation before birth. Functional causes such as prolonged poor posture are usually reversible, while structural causes are usually irreversible. What are the symptoms? Most obvious physical symptom kyphoscoliosis is a hunched or uneven back. This spinal condition is accompanied by a number of other mild symptoms, including a hunched back, uneven shoulder blades, arms or legs longer on one side. In more severe cases, kyphoscoliosis can affect the lungs, nerves, and other organs. More serious symptoms include disfiguring back pain, breathing problems, weakness or paralysis, stiffness, fatigue, decreases appetite, neurological problems, heart problems. What are the prospects? It is important to see a doctor if you notice symptoms of kyphoscoliosis. Early detection and treatment are the key to recovery. Life with any type of scoliosis can be difficult. You may find a scoliosis support group helpful.